I'm Greg Ullin with Reynolds & Reynolds, and this is Connected. We're live at NADA. I get to sit down with a pro right now who's telling me this is like a vacation because he doesn't have to ask the questions. I'm here with Kyle Mountsier, COO at More Than Cars. Kyle, thanks so much for joining me.
Oh, it's a joy. It literally is a joy. I was talking on my way over here. I've been asking all of the questions for 2 days, and now I get to just, sit and enjoy a conversation.
There you go. How many questions do you think you've asked over the last, 48 hours?
Probably, in interviews, probably 2 to 250, I would guess. Yeah.
It's a lot. That's a lot. But the good news is you get to see everybody, right?
I do.
You get to meet everybody.
You know what? That's one really cool thing about interviewing so many people is you learn along the way what they're doing, what technology they're building, how they're thinking, how they're seeing the world, how they're interacting with dealers, how dealers are interacting with the tech. Yeah. And you just get it's a forced opportunity to have really dialed in insight into kind of like the vibe check, so it's good.
Right.
Yeah.
So, when you say vibe, I feel like, and it's like everybody I talk to is like, man, this is just such a positive environment, really optimistic, huge energy. Are you feeling the same thing? It just feels
huge
so good.
Energy. And here's how I'm codifying it. It's when you look at, there's always market indicators, right? And for me, the market indicator on how people are feeling this year is really centered around this. Obviously there's a little bit of coming off of New Orleans, not having the opportunity there. But I think it's more about, hey, there's dealers buying tech. There's a massive tech adoption of the floor. You may not have been to the North Hall, but it is packed more than ever.
Wow.
And so when you look at all of that energy, it means everyone's kind of bullish on this year.
Yeah.
Bullish on the tech that can enable consumer experiences, employee experiences. And so my retail optimism is up because of the way that I see people interacting, buying tech, thinking about integration, all of that. So.
Yeah. No, and you bring up, how the tech can impact consumer experience and employee experience, which I think that's something that not everybody talks about. And I always try to bring it up because it's the consumer experience is easy to see, right? And it's great to focus on, and we have to focus on it. But the people in the store are the ones that are delivering the great consumer experience.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
At the end of the day, if you're stressed out and you got to use 7 tools to get a car deal done, it's tough to make that person across from you feel special and to feel like they're really cared for and have them have a great time while they're in your store.
Yeah. My good friend, Patrick Abad, he says, happy people make happy people, right? And not make people happy, they make happy people, right? Yeah. And I think that's so true. And so especially when we have a very young generation coming into our sales force. There are so many in their 20s right now that are entering automotive in auto sales and being advisors. They're coming out of college or high school having learned on iPads, having learned on MacBooks, having learned on the newest technology. They've probably spent some time, vibe coding. They've probably spent some time doing all these things. And so for them to walk into an industry and go, what's my day-to-day look like? Them having the tools and technologies that they would expect being in business is extremely important. And so I think that's one part of it. The other part, and I was talking to Jeremy Rowland, he's at a group in Florida this morning. And one thing that I really hadn't connected the dots about a ton, because we're talking so much about life cycle marketing, how to email people well, how to keep them in the loop. It's a very technology driven conversation when it comes to the flywheel of a life cycle of a customer. But one of the things he's focusing on, and I'm retuning, is if I have happy people that are making people happy, then that's the impetus for retention, for people having life cycle. You can email people 1 billion times.
Right.
It doesn't mean they want to come back and work with your people. If they don't want to work with your people, they didn't have a good time hanging out in your store, they're not coming back. Doesn't matter how good the offer is, how many times you email them at just the right time, right? Yeah. So we have to be thinking in that direction. I honestly wish there were more vendors here that were solely talking about how to curate not just train, but curate an employee experience.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it takes to do that, but it's been my whole thought today. I can't get that out of my head.
Well, no, because it's all about operational excellence and finding ways to make the job easy and make the job fun. Honestly, like that's what it's all about. Every job should be fun, and if you can give people the tools to make it fun, then let's get after it.
Yeah, exactly. I remember I was I'll never forget the most wild thing. I'm at the Reynolds office, right? And we're walking through. You guys did such a great job showing us around. And we get to the lunch hall, and over in the corner, there's like people playing chess. And I'm like, there's no way they don't love working here. They're playing chess at lunch, and that's just genius. So kudos.
No, it's fun. It's a fun environment to be in.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to get into a little bit of tech because I'm telling you, before we started recording, I was telling you, like, I really do look to you as somebody who is on the forefront of what's going on from an AI perspective. I think you dive in as headfirst as anybody in the industry. And I think you take pride in that, right? So, and it's important.
Yeah.
So auto industry AI, obviously you started this about a year ago?
Yeah. Right about a year ago.
Okay. So about a year ago, focused on artificial intelligence, how it's impacting our industry. Where are we at? I guess, what are the use cases? Because it seems like every day you hear another story or another use case. So from your perspective, where are we right now?
I still think we're on like the cutting, like barely even scratching the surface of what's possible. We started autoindustry.ai because we wanted to give people access to like, how can I use these tools in real time? Even there's a prompt in there, like try this prompt, see if it works, right? Every single week. But even, I do a lot of like testing out vibe coding tools just to see like, cause that's kind of for me a barometer on what's possible. Yeah. Because depending on how far along you can get just vibe coding an app tells me what else is possible for people that really understand it, that can actually code with it, that can actually leverage the LLMs, right? Right. So what's the lowest common denominator? That's someone that's vibe coding, right? And you see the progress. The first time I ever typed in, make this little app was about a year and 2 months ago. And it was tragic. I mean, terrible. You couldn't click anything. None of the code was right. It was all, I looked in the code base of whatever it made. It was awful. Yeah. I just did another one, very similar one. I just tried the same thing over and over last week. And in a single prompt, the code structure was really strong. The like fake API calls were quite impressive. Like I know tech well enough. Yeah. And so if that's possible, then can we have something call someone and receive calls? There's a lot of great partners here that are doing that type of stuff. Sure. Can you query a database, and ask it, how many cars did I sell last month? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I don't know what that next frontier is, but I can tell you whatever anybody's doing this year is kind of tiddlywinks to whatever they're going to do next year, which is kind of scary. You see things like Claude coming out and what Molt bots are doing and how AI agents are now talking to each other and solving problems in real time without the need for a human in the loop. And I think about, I have this problem in my dealership or in my organization. And in a year, you're going to stick 7 AI agents on it overnight, and they're going to come back with a fully baked business optimization plan that's probably going to work the next morning. Yeah. And that's a totally different layer. So, but what I would say is if you wait till next year to start playing with that, you're way behind. You should be utilizing tools like what's in Reynolds and what's in some of these others and toying with them and messing with them and testing them out in subsets of your business, or you're definitely going to be behind. So, yeah. Well, long answer for where we're at with AI because it's almost hard to figure out. So
no, I agree. But when you think about it, you think about do it now, right? It's like, when's the best time to plant,
plant a tree, right? 20 years ago, if not today, right?
Yeah. So, but you do that and you think about that and you apply that. But the reality is, if you don't build the foundation, at some point you're going to have to build it, right? And so we're building it from a tech perspective at Reynolds, and that's one thing. But also building that foundation inside the store where you're getting acclimated to tools and understanding what works, what doesn't work, how it works. Because the more complex you get, the harder it is to ramp up to use it in a way that's proficient, right? Yep. Because we'll continue to grow and accelerate really, really fast, but it's still going to be a long time until things just work, right? You don't just plug something in and it works. You have to work with it. You have to understand it.
Well, I would start educating your people on it. If all you do right now is you educate, like find ways for them to be educated on AI, it's extremely important. Something as simple as last night I'm talking to newer tech on the market, and they're doing some stuff with like sending ROs to an AI and then getting back a plan for tomorrow. Something very simple,
Sure.
right? But I was like, okay, what are you doing with PII? And he was like, oh, we just mask it going through and resolve the mask on the way back. That's a tech leader that understands that that's what you have to do.
Right.
But your employee that asks ChatGPT that you didn't buy for them and they're on the free plan just exposed your database to like the world.
Right.
And if you're not educating them and putting up guardrails around how to use it, what it's used for, when you can or can't leverage AI, chat bots, all those types of things in your organization, that's the real scary
you're
one
right.
for me.
Yeah.
So.
No, I mean, you have to have the guardrails for sure. So how are you toying with AI tools right now? So you're one of the best. I really do think like you're one of the best marketers out there. Just your mind works really well. You're good at getting attention. You're good at promoting things. And you're good at finding ways to connect really, really quickly in a lot of different ways. But all that said, how are you kind of in your businesses, right? Using AI, what are you experimenting with?
Well, content creation is getting great. I mean, like audio reconciliation.
Yeah.
It's getting insane. So we're leveraging AI for that. AI clip editing. If you shoot it right, if you know how to leverage it within Adobe suites of tools, those types of things are integrated into every little nook and cranny as far as process. Basic coding, like I need to create an HTML email. All right, boom, that's going to spit out really quick. Even things, we call it no blank sheets of paper, right? Okay. I have this idea. Give me V1, right? Okay, I have an idea for an ad that I want to run. Give me like the non-blank sheet of paper version. That way I can take it and move it to my blank sheet of paper and iterate off of it. Some things we're creating everything in AI. We want to run an ad campaign that is clearly done by AI, and the market is accepting of that.
Yeah.
So we'll actually like make something that is for social, fully in AI. Yeah. Right. And it has the Gemini tag on it. And that's like, it's like a signal back when, when people would take TikTok videos and put them on Instagram, and Instagram ran them up because they were like, yeah, let's pull that content over. Same type of thing. So you can leverage that. Golly, where else am I using it? I want to create this net new messaging, pumping that in there. I will say vibe coding is getting good enough to create internal locked up tools, right? Now you have to understand some things about database and access and security policies, but I actually made a signature generator for the More Than Cars team. Really? It was like, hey, do we have like our signature somewhere for our emails? And it was like, yeah, it's on this Google Doc somewhere. Copy and paste it. But if you don't copy above the line and below the line, and I was like, okay, logo, colors, 5 form fields, copy block, put it in G Suite, right? So those types of internal tools are great.
Yeah. So you mentioned content creation and going from no blank sheets of paper.
No blank sheet of paper. Yeah.
Do you think? So it's an interesting one because for some people, I think the 0 to 1 is easier than the 1 to 100. For some people, I think being able to create, like getting it from here to here is the easy part and refining it's the hard part. For other people, right, getting it from here to here is the hard part, and then the refinement is where you excel. Yeah. So I think that's part of it too, where you have to know what you're good at and what you like, and then
for sure.
fill the gaps with these tools. So it sounds like for you, like it's just faster to get the first thing on paper, and then you can iterate from there. And if you don't like it, then get another thing on paper, right? It doesn't
exactly.
That's the thing. So just knowing your strengths and where it really can empower you and add efficiencies and add speed.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I think, and a thought partner along the way.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't like this. How should I, which way? We've even used it. We have like an internal tool at More Than Cars where we'll put creative through a rubric, right? Because Paul and I can't be in every conversation and be like, no, we don't want to put that out, right? So we kind of took a lot of context from our brains, got them into a model, put it in a markdown. It understands a bit more about how we think. And we allow our creatives to put that right in there.
Yeah.
And we trained it over a couple months, and all of a sudden now we have a scoring rubric for creative internally, and they're able to come to us with like drafts that are way further down the pipe, and we're approving more first stop because it thinks and it moves like we do. So even like taking executive context and pushing it into the rest of the team is a way that we've leveraged it. So
how did you come up with that rubric? So that was that exercise, because that's a lot of thinking, right? A lot of documentation. So was that an exercise where you quite literally sat down and plugged all this stuff in, thought through it, loaded it all into an AI, agent or whatever, and then said, hey, give me this? Or was it, hey, here's the last 6 months worth of content that we like, right? Upload. Now tell me why we like it. What are the commonalities between this, and what would a rubric be? Like what path did you take? Or maybe it was a blend of those. I don't know. It was a blend. So we took content that we've made that we really liked. Yep. We took content from other content providers in the world that we were like, we want to align with some of the specificities there. We took content across brand content and ad content, split it. And then we actually had GPT instruct us through a series of questions that we could answer almost in podcast style. Yeah. Transcripted that, pushed all that into a LLM. Yeah. And then started curating output. Wow. We put all that output in Markdown, which is most of AI understands Markdown and JSON way better than plain language because it's structured. It understands context of headings, of bullets, of things like that. And so then we took that Markdown, put it into a GPT with all of this rubric stuff. It's like 4 pages, right? Of like pure text, and then started hammering it, getting outputs, talking back to it, and then refine that. And we're now kind of on a model now where it kind of thinks like me and Paul. It's wild. Yeah. No, that's great. Cause it just creates, it amplifies what you can do, right? Yes. Your output just increases exponentially. I love that. It's a great way to go about it. A great use. Hey, one thing I wanted to ask you about while I got you before we run out of time at some point here. I saw a post you did on LinkedIn, and I wanted to hear this. I really thought this was such a great way to handle it. So you have a company called AutoGenius, right? Yep. Your audience is a lot of marketers, yeah, right? And so you sent out an email and forgot, a bracket essentially. Yeah. You can tell the story, but then you leverage that as an opportunity to laugh at yourself a little bit, maybe sell a little merch, and really bond the community, which I think is one of your superpowers. So I don't know, talk about that a little bit. All right, so the story is, this is so stupid though, by the way. Okay, so I leveraged AI to write an email in the format that our email provider does. Yeah. And I didn't leverage AI to write the merge field part of it. So if you know about liquid merge fields, basically there's a way to say like, yeah, I want to drop the first name in if I have it in the database, and if I don't have a default, and in this, it was going to be hey there or hey Bob. Right, yeah. Right. And in this platform, the merge field only needs one bracket, curly bracket, right? Well, I decided that 2 brackets were going to be what I typed in that day, right? And I didn't leverage AI. I probably should have, because I should have been like, here's the merge field documentation, write it the right way. And so I sent this email out, and it said, hey, bracket, first name, piped elimination, : default equals there, right? Bracket. And it only went out to luckily like 1,000 people, right? Yeah. But 250 of those people are in this AutoGenius community they love to roast anyone, right? Because marketers love to roast people. And it's like it's a mistake that every marketer's made. So I screenshot that thing when I got it. I couldn't pull it back. Screenshot that thing, put it in the community. And I was like, go ahead, roast me. 50 messages later, they had fully roasted me. And somewhere in there, someone was like, we got to put it on a t-shirt. And so myself, my co-founder, Ben, we were like, absolutely. So we gave the team a little bit of money, made 100 shirts of them. So it's that, hey, and then the merge field. We put our logo on it. But I think the other piece of that's really important for any marketer that's listening to this is
nobody wants to wear your logo unless you're Tommy Hilfiger.
Right.
Or anything else like that. I say Tommy Hilfiger because it's always the one that comes to mind. Nobody wants to wear your logo unless it speaks something about them. The reason why Love People More Than You Love Cars works, the reason why the Hey Merge Field works is because every single marketer at some point in their life has sent an email they weren't supposed to send. It had tests at the beginning. It said it has a merge field that's wrong, anything like that. And so if you're creating anything, it has to say something about the end user, not just about you.
Yeah.
And that's how you build loyal followings. That's how you build community. And so we made shirts and made fun of myself a little bit.
I love it. No, it's just, I saw it and I was like, that's a good idea. That's a great way to have a little bit of just, chuckle at yourself and build that community. I thought it was fantastic.
It was wild.
I thought it was fantastic. Wait, talk a little bit too about Truth About Car Dealers. So season 2 is coming out really soon, a couple weeks.
Next week. So we've renamed it from More Than Cars
Right.
to The Truth About Car Dealers. We think it speaks to the thing a bit more. We'll have the Carter Myers organization, 100-year-old dealer group, absolute passion in that dealer group. It's a really, really cool thing that happened. Carter Myers had never been in. He walked past the store that his family built every single day as he grew up, but never went in it. And we got to get him in it. So
really?
That was amazing. We've got the Beaux-Arts organization in Florida, great Reynolds client. And then we've got the Rohrman organization in Indiana. And so they'll be going out 3 weeks in a row, and we'd love for people to watch it.
Yeah.
So,
where?
You can watch it on Prime, YouTube. We'll be premiering it on LinkedIn as well.
Oh, nice.
You can go to thetruthaboutcardealers.com and check it out.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Last thing before we cut out here. We're at an ADA. We're on day 2, which means like we're over halfway over. So now you start looking forward. Next big one's a SodaCon.
Let's go. All
right.
Yeah. We're
Middle of
super
May.
pumped. Middle of May. This is the week after Mother's Day, so 12th to the 15th. The first day, we're really excited. We're holding the autoindustry.ai summit.
Okay.
There's going to be some like rapid fire AI tech companies talking about what they're doing. We'll have a couple workshops. We're going to build some prompt libraries. We're going to all build an app, do a little hackathon, write in a vibe coding software that I love to use. There'll be a couple great panels, and I think it'll be a really like hands-on style day.
Yeah.
And like a fire hose of what's happening in the industry from an AI perspective. And then 2 days of, we got some tricks up our sleeve, as we always do. But it'll be a really, really great event. You guys have always been incredible partners to that event. So, yeah.
You in Baltimore again?
Baltimore again.
Perfect.
The live casino and hotel in Hanover.
Yep.
We like to say Hanover. It's south of Baltimore. It's like North Annapolis, right? But it's a great event. Probably, we've got around 800 people that come out to that event, and just a progressive community. The speed of trust is real there. And if you haven't been, you got to make it.
Great. I can't wait. We'll finish up here though first, right? We got another day.
We got to ride this out a little bit more. Yeah,
for sure. All right. Well, Kyle, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for sitting down. And I always feel like we don't have enough time, so we'll have to do it a little more frequently, I guess.
Greg, you're a professional. You have the best smile in the business. Thanks for having me on.
All right. We'll talk soon. I always love getting to sit down with Kyle Mountsier, a great marketer, great mind, and really an advocate for the industry. If you didn't see it earlier this week, make sure you check out the season 2 premiere of The Truth About Car Dealers. You can find that at asodu.com and all over on socials and YouTube. Also, mark your calendars and get tickets now for ASODUCon, May 12th through the 15th. Thanks again to Kyle for joining me. Before we hop off, don't forget you can watch or listen to all episodes of Connected on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify podcasts. And make sure to hit subscribe so you're notified every other week when new episodes are released. Thanks so much. We'll see you in 2 weeks.